5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bella Talks TV. It's Amanda Bella. I'm here. I'm alive. I have survived influenza A. And yeah, I'm really not like myself yet. I've taken NyQuil the last 2 nights, which is something that I don't think I've taken since maybe like high school. And that is no joke, you guys. Like the first night I took 2 shots of it with my melatonin. And then plus I think I had, I don't even know, something, maybe an allergy medicine or like a Benadryl or something too. Like I was so concerned about not being able to sleep through the night because I am definitely somebody who, if I don't get like 8 hours of sleep a night, I am non-functioning. So I don't do well, especially my big age of 37. I just don't do it like I used to. I used to be able to show up to work, like 1 hour of sleep, go out right after work again. Like I used to be able to keep it rolling. My gosh, okay. I'll spare you guys the details, but just know that I am so bummed that this hit me now when it did. Of course, it's like never too good to be true. I felt like I had gotten the sickness like out of me in the fall already, and I felt pretty confident. Like I was like, I'm going to feel good through the holidays. Thanksgiving, I felt great. Like I just was not anticipating this. And then I was in Florida, as you guys know. I went to Miami Fan Fest. Then I flew back to New York and we had friends in town to do a bunch of the holiday stuff. And we had big plans to go. We did. We actually did still do everything, but we picked up our friends on Thursday. We went to Rockefeller Plaza. We did the tree. We went to Central Park. We went to the museum. We didn't make it to the Bryant Winter Village because one of our friends that was in town was sick and was coughing, and we were trying to do some things indoor. And look what happened. It's really not rocket science. It reminded me so much of like I had so many flashbacks to COVID and like social distancing. And I was like, shit, like if you don't feel good, people, this is my PSA. If you do not feel good, don't feel like, oh my gosh, my friends are going to be mad if I cancel, or like, oh, they already made the reservation for 8. Like I still need to go. Like stay home if you are sick because you are just going to get everyone else sick. And my friend comes, we get sick, and I fly back to Florida Sunday night and I'm starting to feel it. But then I wake up Monday morning here, which I had, of course, already missed a few days of podcasting at that point. But I was still really excited to get back on the mic and talk to you guys about my weekend. And now it's like I don't even remember what happened during those days because it's been so long, because now I haven't been able to pod and talk to you guys. But I am on the mend. I am coming back, and I'm going to be still trying to get episodes out to you every day until Christmas, still keeping in touch with you. And I had so many people do wellness checks on me and just make sure I was doing okay. It really means everything to me. So thank you very much. And let's talk about a few things. So I'm going to be back with my regular Amanda Bella top 5 countdown of reality TV's most talked about moments. So don't worry, that episode is coming. And then I also have plans to be doing some recording and stuff, next week, Monday, a couple of things coming up. So just stay tuned, you guys. I'm not giving up on this advent calendar, my Bella bonus advent calendar. I'm really not giving up on it, even though I missed some days because I used to only record once every week or 2 weeks. So the fact that I feel bad about not getting one out every single day already shows that like I'm just in that 2025 mindset I need to be in, because I am so excited to see where I get to take Bella Talks TV in 2025. Like I just have a gut feeling. My intuition is telling me like, that meme I always reference where the guy's mining underground, like looking for the jewels, and he's just about to stop digging. And he's like, I give up. I'm just like, I'm never going to find the jewels. And he was like, if he would have just picked like one more time at the wall, he would have found it. So I'm constantly picking at the wall, looking for those jewels. I know that they're around the corner. So I just want to say, thank you all for being here. Happy holidays. I am, again, in Florida today. It's so weird to be down here. It's really hard. Like a lot of the other condos and stuff have little Christmas trees on their balconies or Christmas lights. And it's cute to see like people try, but being from like the literal North Pole, Northern Michigan, like no one does Christmas like that. So unless I'm home for Christmas, it just doesn't really feel like it. But I'm doing my best. As a married woman now, you have to make sacrifices. And like, if this is where my husband needs us to be, like, this is where we need to be this year. So trusting him and going with it. And I think it's going to be a good year anyway. We're going to be back in New York. About a week from today, I have another hair appointment. So you guys are probably like laughing because a few weeks ago, or a few months ago now at this point, I was like, okay, I'm going in for a hair transformation. And all I did was like literally go like one shade of blonde darker. Was not a transformation whatsoever. But I ended up like last week or the week before, like my hairdresser's literally gonna kill me. And if you guys don't know, like the guy that does my hair extensions is a very like well-known hairstylist on Long Island, and he is in like a war with Marissa, who is the New Jersey. Yeah, if you know, you know where I'm going with this. The New Jersey hairstylist that they got into a fight with Danielle and Jen Aiden over I wouldn't treat my hairdresser like that. So anyways, it just all roads always lead back to Bravo for me. But I'm going to have a hair appointment next week. So I'm going to be going for like full Doute vibes and I'm excited. Now, there's been a lot of controversy. Again, there's not really like a theme for this episode. I'm just going to kind of like talk about a couple random things on my mind while I have some time here. I have about a half an hour. And okay, so of course I already lost my train of thought. This is like sick brain, you guys. Like this is truly my sick brain. I just looked down at Candy and how cute she looks. And she just went to the groomer yesterday. And I just was like, oh, and then I forgot what I was talking about. Okay, a few different things that are going on this week. Yes. So obviously the James Kennedy is like, of it all is really what I want to talk about. You guys know I'm like the biggest DJJK supporter. And the weirdest thing is like I'm always preaching about like domestic violence and like being an ally. And it sometimes is like it's so right in front of you. I've talked about my own internal misogyny and, none of us are perfect fans, perfect people. And I guess we'll just dive right into the James stuff because I am personally disappointed because of course I'm affected by this. I knew that he had done something to Kristen Doute, but I never read her book and I never really heard the story. And from what I am gathering, she's never actually like shared what has happened. She's just wrote like a fictionalized or a sensationalized version. I'm not even sure exactly what she wrote in the book, but I don't think it's like an exact recount of James. I know it definitely doesn't use his name, even though the book is in chronological order. So people were like, yeah, duh, it's James. So I'm really not sure, to be honest, like exactly what happened and what went down with James and Kristen. Now, she did say that the night of Sheena's wedding, that huge scene where she slaps him in the face or like punches him in the face and everybody's like, oh yeah, Kristen abused James. No, I definitely never believed that. I never thought Kristen was like an instigator or the abuser. I'm sure she was only self-protecting and like, trying to get him off of her. Sounds like he was pretty aggressive that night, pushing her into like bushes and stuff too. Like not everything is like getting punched in the face. Like just because you don't have a black eye doesn't mean you weren't abused. So there's just a lot of internet talk around this now because this is a huge story because it was pretty much hidden in plain sight. We're all trying to say like, how did we not see this? Like me, myself too. Like, how did I not like really understand this before? And it's been kind of delivered, an excuse to us or as a possibility to us that potentially Bravo has been helping like cover things up that happened with him, that they may have seen or heard things going on and that they obviously continued to employ him. That's the first thing. Not only that, but they continued to put him in situations where everybody felt safe around him too. Number 3, they continued to have him have his abusers or have the people that he abused also, assuming Kristen, assuming Rachel Raquel, assuming Allie, allegedly, that they've all had their own experiences. And then we also know like Lala and Katie too have had situations with him, in their own rights. Even Lala in the friendship and stuff with him that they definitely had, I think, if not just verbally abusive. It sounds like James was very verbally abusive to Lala. And then Allie too. He always kind of has been like this to Katie as well. No, it's like, duh, looking back, Amanda, you should have been talking shit about this guy since day one. Like, how were we supporting him? It's very obvious that the accent, the Lisa Vanderpump, the smoke and mirrors of it all really did make us feel for him and have a lot of empathy for him because we knew he struggled with things with his family. I mean, not to speculate, but whatever. I don't really have anything to protect for James at this point. I do think that James is struggling with his own sexual preferences. I do think that even Nick Viall, Ryan Bailey, a lot of the people that were at Kathy Hilton's Christmas party said that there was somebody with James and Allie in their friend group that was non-binary, that people didn't know still when they were trying to say, like, they didn't know. And I don't say if it was a girl or a boy, whatever, like non-binary. I mean, you guys know that I am an ally for trans. Come on. Don't hold it to me. But they were just saying basically that, like, okay, but looking back, like James has kind of always had like somebody like around him, like a gay friend, like kind of like a minion to like he bosses around. Even like James and Max Vanderpump, remember? Like he just always is very talking down to somebody and having somebody around him. And there were a lot of people recounting at Christmas with Kathy that he had somebody with them in their entourage that he was being really rude to, talking down to, making him hold their drinks, all this stuff. So there's just a pattern of behavior with James that we can no longer deny. Now, a lot of the times, abusers, women, even if it is a man being abused in the situation, they don't call, they don't request help, and they don't, tell anybody or go public with it because it's very damning, it's very shameful, and it's very hard to know, like, especially if Allie knew, like, she wasn't going to leave James or if she's going to still continue to be with him and live with him, like she lives with him, all of this stuff. I mean, eventually you do have to move out, which is like the hardest part. Rachel Raquel finally did it, remember, after the reunion where she gave the ring back. There was just a lot of stuff. There's just been a lot of James stuff that's happened over the years. It was bound for it to happen. The truth always comes out. And Kristen Doute herself, our Mariposa, was like, finally, like TMZ reported it. We don't know who was abused. Now, Allie was seen in public yesterday. The quote was that she seemed unbothered. Something is telling me that this was not an incident with Allie. Something is telling me that this is an incident with that other person that was hanging out with them at the party, and that potentially people were hanging out at James's afterwards. I don't know. Like, we have a lot of questions about this story yet. James has had some, he's had some after parties at his house and stuff before. Wouldn't be surprised if people came over after Christmas at Kathy's and something escalated, maybe not involving Allie. Maybe a neighbor called the police. Maybe another friend in the group, someone at their house called the police. We're unsure. We don't know what happened. But all I have to say is I'm really, really sad for little Allie. I hope that she can get herself out of this situation and really take this as like her final sign that she needs to get away from this person. I know that she's always believed in James's ability to change. I think everybody has, and myself included, has thought he's had this huge potential, but we can no longer just enable. It's truly enabling. It's allowing him to get away with it. It's allowing him to sneak through it. It's allowing him to continue to get these huge opportunities because of all the support that he does have. I mean, without the support of the fans, he would not be able to be making money off of a huge tour with Pauly D. I'm just really disappointed by all of it. I'm really thinking of Kristen Mariposa during this time. We know that she's going to be having a baby girl with Luke. And I was dying laughing at the Watch What Crappens recount of the People magazine announcement of the pregnancy and the gender reveal. Did you guys see this where Kristen's like in her backyard with Luke? And if you look in the background, there's like a bunch of like moldy, rotten pumpkins that have been left over from Halloween. And then on top of the pumpkins, there's like Christmas balls and like elves like stuck in them. I don't know what is going on at the Broderick Doty household, but no, that is unacceptable. This is People magazine baby gender reveal announcement. Like, we got to do better, you guys. We've got to do better over there. So yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. Another thing that recently happened, I recounted, was the fact that I kind of had been involved, unbeknownst to me, in Britney getting roasted online again for her substance abuse. I mean, people are really coming for her, especially in the fact that, like, okay, if you say you have 50-50 custody with Cruz and Jax has him 50% of the time and you have him 50% of the time, but the 50% of the time that you have him, okay, I understand you have appearances. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff. Like, Britney went from Watch What Happens Live to doing her live podcast show to didn't she go to like another Housewives event over here too? She's just like at everything. She's doing like the Bravo tour right now. Like, where is Cruz? Like, justice for Cruz. Anyways, I had reposted that video from Not Skinny But Not Fat, Amanda Hirsch's Instagram, because she was hanging out with them in the green room of the live podcast show. Brittany took this huge shot, proceeded to go on stage. I mean, the gird was not girding. Looks like Brittany's drinking is just, it's just going on. She'd just be going on, and that's okay. That's okay. She's gonna live her life. I'm like so over it, but I just thought that was really funny that I reposted that. It like low key went mini viral, and then other people were talking about the video. So I'm like, oopsie. What else has been going on? Okay, yeah. So people are pretty upset with Dorit right now. There's like rumors because stupid Carlos King, who I've never trusted. I really did try to like give him the benefit of the doubt, but he just has always been a thirst monster, a clout monster, a click monster. And he's now trying to say that Dorit's faking her separation with PK. And I wouldn't go as far as to say faking it. I would say go as far as to say maybe Dorit and PK really are not separating, or have since decided not to separate, and maybe are together now in present day. And so it's something is like getting wires crossed. I believe in the moment at the time of filming, most of what Dorit and PK are going through is true. I do. Played it for TV, potentially. I'm unsure. It's Beverly Hills. So I just don't know. But I just am so annoyed with Carlos King, and I'm so annoyed with these like whistleblowers. It's like truly get a grip. What else has been going on, you guys? I'm loving Southern Charm. I know it's really slow moving so far, but this latest episode is really good. I didn't enjoy the premiere that much, but JT, love him or hate him, is messy boots, and like we do kind of need him. I'm kind of living for him coming in and just like, I don't know, being an idiot, because that's what Southern Charm is about, the men being idiots. So he was Shep doing ayahuasca and like having his Jesse Lally, storyline. It's disappointing to me. I would like to see Shep doing better, but again, it's like perfect almost that he hasn't really grown or learned that much. Same with Craig. Craig's up to his same old shenanigans of like being the holier than thou one, but really being just as bad as all of them. I do believe that him and Paige are going to break up. I know that they keep trying to say that they're like not, but I just can't help it. I do think 2025 they will end their relationship. I think it's so funny that what's going to happen to Shep this season is that he's going to get like apparently this girl was a big fan of the show and totally just was getting used to be on TV, and like it's kind of funny to see Shep get that storyline, get that edit, get that character arc, because you would think that he would be smart enough to know, but he's now falling into this like dating way younger girls thing too, where he's 44. This girl, Sienna, Miss Bahamas, is 26. I mean, when are these guys going to learn? But then it's not any better because we have Whitney, who again, you guys know I love my Whitney. He is fucking my toxic vampire. I love him so much. But he also now has been dating these like young girls in their 20s. It's like he's like 60. He looks like Charlie Sheen. He looks like Tiger Blood. I can't handle it, but I'm actually loving it. And how sad about Madison and Brett. I did not know that he had been battling thyroid cancer. I was at the Watch What Happens Live when an audience member asked Madison about her progress of having kids and making a baby. And she was like, Brett and I are trying every day. We're practicing. And then for her to say on this episode that she like wants to throw up when people ask her, it really made my stomach like flip. Like, you should be really ashamed if you're out here asking Madison about having babies. Like, get a grip. No. Everyone's got to stop. Everyone has got to stop with that. I'm kind of actually liking Taylor and Gaston. I don't know why, but I think that they actually have a really sweet, genuine relationship, even though I cannot stand her. What else is going on this season? I don't know. I'm here for it. I'm loving it. Now it looks like, kind of going back to Beverly Hills for a second, Kyle and Dorit, they made up a little bit this week, in the sense where they finally got to a point where they have agreed to disagree. They've heard each other out at least, and I'm not sure how they're going to move forward this season, but we're going to just have to wait and see. At some point, I know Sutton is going to start to really turn on Dorit, so I'm excited to see some of the other girls come into play, because it's been like 4 episodes of just Kyle and Dorit. let's get Garcelle in there. Let's get Erica in the mix a little bit more. Let's get these girls like really getting messy. Again, I'm still loving Jennifer Tilly. Great addition. I've been watching the Married at First Sight season. Okay, you guys, we're starting to finally get somewhere because we're getting to the point now where David has admitted for the second time that he's been to the gym with Madison. And even Michelle now is starting to kind of like look weird at him, like kind of give him the side eye, like, okay, why are you spending so much time with her? To me, it's very obvious at this point that they are going to be the two that like end up together at the end of this, and that's where the swap will come from. But then some people online are trying to think that MM and Matt and Alan end up together. So are there just multiple swaps? Like we keep thinking that like only 2 couples will swap with each other, but are there like 3 to 4 couples that end up all swapping around? Because Carla and Juan, I just can't see it for them right now. And I'm wondering if they also end up being some of the mix and being some of the swaps that happen that have to do with this show. I mean, I'm not sure yet. Dr. Pepper and Dr. Cal only showed up for like 5 minutes so far this season. And like these people need help from the experts stat. So I'm really hoping they get involved more next season. We haven't seen like any of the exercises. I think that we're not seeing off camera, like them either refusing to do a lot of this or being too busy to do a lot of this. So it seems like they're all like workaholics, a lot of them. So maybe they're just like not spending any time together in the apartments, but we're like never seeing any of them filming, doing anything during the week. So I'm really not sure what's going on with this season, but still going to continue to watch it play out every week. And yeah, we just celebrated 15 years of Jersey Shore, you guys. So if you're not watching the new season of Jersey Shore Family Vacation, I've been enjoying it. I don't enjoy so much a lot of the Snooki finding her parents storyline. I understand her being adopted has been a huge part of Snooki lore because she's not actually a little Guidette. She's a little Chilean baby. So, could do without all of that, but I do love the fighting within the cast and crew. Love always seeing Angelina and Vinny fighting. Love seeing Sammy and Angelina fighting. I love seeing Sammy standing up for herself all the time. It feels so good to have like somebody with a sane brain in there. It's been a good season so far. I'm enjoying it. I like seeing Vinny and JWoww fighting. That's like one of my favorite fights. Mike always being messy, but like him and the wife Lauren's cannot stop having children. So they have 3 kids now with like under 3. He's not really like that involved in the drama this season. Paulie and Nikki, now again, one of like the biggest enigmas. Paulie, as you guys know, like he hasn't really had a lot of public relationships. He did date Aubrey O'Day, who is connected to Diddy. And it's just really crazy that Paulie is only like one degree of separation from like all of, that side of Hollywood. So I wonder like what he knows. I'm sure he knows some things. But his relationship with Aubrey, I think, wasn't great. And she doesn't really think that he was like a good person. So I'm curious what Nikki and Paulie's relationship is really like behind closed doors and how long she'll wait for him, because I don't know if Paulie will ever propose or get married to her. I think that Nikki really is got to be very patient. She knows that she's playing the long game with him, but I don't know what's ever going to happen with that. So I kind of like seeing that unfold. They're all going to Jamaica, and I think that they're going to meet Nikki's family down there. So I don't know what's going to happen with Nikki and Paulie. One of those just like really long storylines that are taking seasons and seasons to see how it's going to end. So we will see. I think besides that, it's just really good to come on and catch up with you guys for a few minutes. I'm going to let you go, but I will be back with another episode soon, and stay tuned for more reality TV recaps and randomness from me. I will be going to a little Florida boat parade tomorrow. You guys paying attention also to all of the drones that are flying everywhere? Oh my God, I didn't even talk to you guys about Luigi Monopoly. Okay, so if you're not paying attention to the Luigi Mangione shooting of the CEO, United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, if you know, you know. I'm in deep. I'm down bad on TikTok. And I mean, first they shot the guy on Park Place at the most highest hotel, which remember in Monopoly, you're buying houses and you're also buying hotels on these expensive real estate rolls that you get and the turns that you get to, remember Monopoly is about capitalism. So basically it's about showing you that like no matter how much money you go to the bank, you collect money, you do all these things, you're never going to have enough money to like beat the system, beat the game, because you're always going to have to pay your taxes, pay fees, pay random community things that go on. So it just really does show you. Plus, the bank can like steal from you. Like, there's all these things that happen in the game of Monopoly. So, anyways, he shoots this guy on Park Place. He goes into Central Park. He leaves the bag of the Monopoly money. On the bullets also are engraved with deny, depose, decline, denial, whatever. Now, that all comes from the United Healthcare, not just United Healthcare, but from healthcare billing codes. Like, I used to work in healthcare billing, so I know a lot about this. When you work in a doctor's office and your doctor does something, let's say he pulls a tooth, then we submit the claim to the insurance saying, hey, on this day, this patient came in and we pulled his tooth. We need to collect the benefits for this. This is the proof that we did it. And this is why we did it. It's called medical necessity. So you write down why the tooth needed to be pulled. You have to prove it. You can't just be out here pulling teeth for money. You have to prove it needed to be done, blah, blah, blah. Well, then you send it into the insurance. Well, then the insurance has two things they can do. One, send you a check for your services to get paid for what you've done, or they can deny. And the problem with the Luigi situation is that he, I think himself, allegedly had his own surgery that needed to be paid for, reimbursed, approved for through his insurance. He's in a lot of pain. He cannot get approval through his insurance to get the medical help that he needs. He gets sick of the American healthcare situation, the American health insurance, all of it. He gets sick of the system. So that's why he wrote all of those words on like denial, depose, all that stuff, because those are the ways that you can appeal, decline, all the parts in 286, which is the denial code used when you basically don't get paid from your insurance. And it's basically the excuse code. Like 286 is the reason why. Reason 286, code 286 is why we're not paying you. So all this leads back to the Monopoly money and the bullets. Now, the Monopoly is very clear that he's trying to prove that the American Health Society, basically, healthcare in America is a monopoly. That like everything from the sick medicine, the sick people, the sickness being profited off of it, all of it is part of big pharma. And there's, if you're United Healthcare, you basically you get to collect money off of the patients, the doctors, and the federal government. So you're a monopoly. You can't lose. You own like all sections of the healthcare. So that's what he's trying to prove to everybody. Now, when it goes to phase 2 of this, which is when he gets arrested 286 miles away from the arrest in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where the Pennsylvania Railroad is, another stop on monopoly. This a lot has to do with the McDonald's he was found in, the McDonald's game, how McDonald's CEOs were also corrupt and used the game. They actually cited the reason that it was a health hazard to the American people to continue doing the Monopoly game in McDonald's. So there's a bunch of reasons why McDonald's is included, Monopoly is included. Now, there's a few other things that have been included. Starbucks has been named. A Starbucks water bottle was found at the scene of the crime, and that also is alluding to Waterworks, another space that is on monopoly and having to pay water tax, which is a natural resource that the American government or the global government, whatever, the federal government has decided that, we tax and we make money and we profit from water, it's just showing that like every single thing that we do, we have to pay for, and how it's unfair to us. And we're just like, we didn't ask for this. So whether it's fair or not, it is how the world works and it's part of society. So he is just shedding light, but he's a vigilante. This guy wants to change the world. He's like, some people come in like Elon Musk and they want to truly change the world for evil. If you guys didn't know, Musk's parents owned diamond mines in Africa. When you come from just like blood money like that, like, a lot of the American politicians, a lot of the old money in America, it was built on slavery. It was built on taking over American pilgrims' civilization. It's just all built on garbage and lies and trash and evil and greed. And he has had enough, and I'm living for it. So what is thought to be next? Some speculation. He can't play Monopoly by himself, right? There could be up to 8 players. So there could be other killers, other shooters taking out other CEOs. We're thinking the CEO of McDonald's, the CEO of Starbucks, the CEO of, a lot of these other places should be really watching their backs. Literally, because you just never know now who's playing Monopoly, whose turn it is. Luigi's been pre-releasing videos to his YouTube. Now, one thing I haven't heard a lot of people draw to is the fact that in his YouTube profile picture, he's holding a McDonald's Happy Meal. And on the Happy Meal box is the Mufasa Lion King. I mean, Jay-Z. Mufasa just premiered, plus Jay-Z just got indicted also. Like, I'm thinking that this could also have something to do with all of that coming out and getting exposed. So unclear, but just had to talk about Monopoly and Luigi a little bit. And also keep your eyes peeled on those drones, you guys. Stay safe out there. I'm worried about things like grid, like if the grid goes down, if there's no power, if there's no water, if there's no Wi-Fi, if there's no cell phone service, if planes get deplaned, grounded. Like, these are things I'm worried about. So please stay safe out there, but also try to, continue to stay positive and enjoy the holidays. All right, I got to get out of here. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Ciao, Bellas.